Oh man, the worst team series is suddenly not leaving me alone, it seems. We haven't taken a trip to the OG games in a hot minute, and doing a worst team was something that just sounded so miserable. I wasn't sure I actually wanted to do it. However, I have pushed past those feelings to put together what could be the absolute worst team of all time. Like, it's almost enough to make a Pokemon Master cry, the idea of using this team. So, how bad is it? Well, I guess I need to get through this intro and start it up. Yep, gotta just stop delaying things. Get into this miserable, awful team. Here I go. So, we kick off the team today with, you guessed it, Raticate. I had to keep with tradition. We always go with the early rodent on the game in lieu of a traditional starter. Therein lies the true issue of the first generation. Choosing a Pokemon like Raticate for your team means you're completely signing away your rights to any coverage. This is long before there was a ton of TMs, and many of what there are really aren't any good. I mean, Water Gun as a TM? That is absolutely so stupid. But perhaps not as stupid as Bide and Rage being TMs. What in the world were they thinking back then? But I digress. Regardless of all that, tradition is what really kept Raticate here, because its move pool has essentially only normal moves which aren't super effective against anything, and thus it would have just been here to be with no actual usage. However, it did have some TMs to work with that, well, were definitely not the best. Alright, the move pool Raticate has is Strength, Hyper Fang, Dig, and Bubble Beam. Yeah, like I said, the TMs weren't the best that I could actually use on this thing. Strength is an HM obtained in Fuchsia after you give the Warden his teeth back, and it's probably like one of the best stab moves this thing could actually have. Then there is Hyper Fang, learned at level 14, with a 10% chance to cause a little flinching. Then Dig is obtained from that one Rocket Goon in Cerulean after you beat him up. And Bubble Beam is your reward for beating Misty. It was honestly just really funny to me that Raticate can learn this, because it almost makes no sense. Though I guess Raticate has a lot of anger boiling up from inside because it sucks, so it just shoots the bubbles from that out. So with these moves, Raticate will be able to do well against Lieutenant Surge's entire team, Koga's entire team, Blaine's entire team, Giovanni's entire team, Bruno's duo with Onix, Agatha's entire team except for Golbat, Lance's Aerodactyl, and finally Blue's Rhydon and Charizard. Whoa man, Raticate can actually take out half the gyms all on its own. Perhaps I slept on this thing. Maybe I would have just been better off making Charizard the star of this team. It can't even do this much. Oh well. Next up on our worst team, we'd be in rough shape if we didn't have something that could fly around, right? Well, unfortunately, Fearow and Dodrio are actually good Pokemon, and even Pidgeot has some sort of merit to it. So, what do we pick? It's of course gotta be Farfetch'd. There's nothing else that's really that bad that can also use Fly as well, so this was in a way my only option. Its stats are big time garbage. Base 65 attack is its best stat. Like, that is just so horrible, and that didn't change until the 7th generation. Farfetch'd has always just been so bad, and if it were not for Surfetch'd, not a soul would care about this duck. It's another normal type, and it's really lacking in any sort of coverage. It's literally here to be a flying type, and that is it. You're able to get your hands on a Farfetch'd by trading away a Spearow in Vermilion City. So, you know, you're gonna have a nice flying type just in time for the electric gym. I'm sure that makes everyone so happy. Let's get into the set. The moves today on our flyer are Fly, Slash, Swords Dance, and Agility. Fly is found near the Cycling Road if you have Cut outside of Celadon City. And make sure you have Cut, because you want to actually have something that's stab. Slash is next, and it's a high crit ratio. It's learned at level 39, so it's a late move. It's just a thing, guys. There's literally nothing else. Like, look here. What would you use over it? Cut? Don't be crazy. Finally, Swords Dance is learned at level 23, and Agility at level 31. With the mechanics of the first generation, you can get some extra stat boosts from using either of those moves, so they were worth including to make Farfetch''s Slash stupid powerful. Alright, Farfetch'd is able to use Fly to do well against Erica's entire team, Sabrina's Venomoth, Bruno's fighting types, and Blue's Executor. Yeah, that's it. Let's just move on from this thing. So, you know, Gyarados is a very solid Pokemon in Red and Blue. It's not bad enough to be on the worst team at all, so I discounted it. and that made stuff very difficult. You really can't find all that many water types floating around easily that are bad. I ended up deciding on Sea King as our water type, and it's actually going to take a while to get. Unfortunately, the old rod is only capable of getting Magikarp reeled up, and the good rod is completely out of our grasp until Fuchsia City, which you can't access without moving a Snorlax out of the way. This is a really late point to get a water type, but you know what? You can't use Surf until then anyway. You have to obtain that HM in the Safari Zone, so it's not like we're being held up. You gotta do what you gotta do, and the barren wasteland that is red and blue version of Kanto. Goldeen is available almost anywhere that you use the good rod, and it'll evolve in the Sea King at level 33. Its special attack is not like amazing at base 80, but not amazing is what the worst team is all about. Let's get into that moveset. Sea King's moveset is pretty standard, with Surf and Waterfall followed by Peck and Double Team. I chose Surf because, you know, that's why it's here. As I mentioned earlier, the HM for that is found in the Safari Zone. Waterfall was learned via level up at level 39, and this is actually one of the first instances of a Pokemon learning an HM via level up. Well, to be fair, Waterfall isn't actually an HM yet in these games. It becomes one in Gold and Silver, but the point still stands. Then there is Peck, which whatever Goldeen you fish up should already have. And then Double Team rounds out the set. It's learned via a TM you can either find in the Safari Zone or buy in the Celadon department store. It's got that same broken Generation 1 mechanics working for it as Agility and Swords Dance, making it worth to have on the set. So Sea King is going to be using these moves to do well against Sabrina's Venomoth, Blaine's entire team, Giovanni's entire team, Bruno's entire team, Lance's Aerodactyl, and Blue's Executor, Rhydon, and Charizard. Once again, we have a Pokemon that doesn't actually take out anything new, and just like Farfetch'd, is mainly here because it kinda has to be. Thankfully, the next few Pokemon offer a bit more coverage. Alright, we got the bulk of the team's importance out of the way, our starter, our flyer, and surfer. Those are the most important building blocks for a lot of teams in the old days while HMs were still a thing. And what's next in Gen 1 when it comes to importance? Well, actually, you could maybe argue with me about whether this belongs on the worst team or not. See, I wanted a Psychic type. It's what we deserve for the sake of coverage when we've had such a real lack of it so far. However, all Psychic types for the most part are really good in these games. Alakazam, Slowbro, Jinx, and Executor, those are all really good. So I had to take the weakest option of the region when it came to Psychic types, Hypno. Hypno has a really nice 115 special stat, but its speed is pretty bad at base 67. This sort of feels like a cop-out in a way, as perhaps Hypno just isn't bad enough. But look, it's the worst option of its type available in these games, so I think that at least is enough to say it belongs on a worse team. Fight me in the comments, go ahead. This team is garbage. It needed some sort of a break somewhere. Anyway, find Drowsy on Route 11, evolve it at level 26. Let's get into the moves. Hypno's moveset is all about that Psychic typing, as it's got Psychic, Hypnosis, Dream Eater, and Thunder Wave. Psychic is learned at level 37, so just rock out with Confusion until then, because that'll be good enough. Then Hypnosis will be on your Drowsy when you catch it. But as for Dream Eater, you'll need a TM, and that's found in Viridian City after you have access to Cut. Finally, Thunder Wave closes out the set, with its location being near the Nugget Bridge on Route 24. Hypno is going to be using Psychic to do well against Erika's Victreebel and Vileplume, Koga's entire team, Sabrina's Venomoth, Bruno's fighting types, and finally, Agatha's entire team. Guys, I know how this looks, but trust me, we're coming up on a real coverage machine. Totally 100%. Alright, so to make up for using a Pokemon that's not entirely garbage, I'll go ahead and pull out one you guys have heard me bury many times on this channel. It's going to be the Mushroom-backed Parasect. This felt like the perfect opportunity to pull out a Grass and Bug type. But I will say I did look over Beedrill for this role. It just wasn't going to work for me because Beedrill just doesn't bring as much to the table as Parasect does. It's completely slow, but its attack stats are sorta okay for these games, so using it has some sort of merit, I guess. You can capture Paras in Mount Moon and then evolve it into Parasect at level 24. So there really isn't anything else to say. Let's indulge in this thing's moveset because there ain't mushroom left in this part of the video. Go ahead. Laugh. Come on. Leech Life, Mega Drain, Spore, and Toxic are the 4 moves that comprise this awful Pokemon's moveset. Leech Life is probably going to be on the Paras you catch, and it's so damn bad. Like, the only good thing about it is it'll help with Sabrina, and that's really it. then Mega Drain is a much better move. This one learned via the TM you get for beating Erica. Spore is learned at level 30 and is arguably the best move Parasect has ever had. And then Toxic is the TM you get for beating Koga. Parasect is using its moveset to do well against Misty's Starmie, Erica's entire team, Koga's entire team, Sabrina's entire team except for Venomoth, which has already been getting beaten up by this team up to this point, Giovanni's Rhydon, Rhyhorn, and Dugtrio, Lorelai's entire team, Bruno's duo of Onyx, Agatha's Arbok, and finally, Blue's Executor, Rhydon, and Alakazam. Now that is what I'm talking about. You guys see how powerful this thing is? Look at how many Pokemon it takes out. Parasect is the true MVP in the weird universe that is Red and Blue. Alright, it is time for the final Pokemon on this team. And at this point, we are lacking really any sort of coverage. Like, it's pretty bad that this team doesn't have any fire or electric or ice moves on it. Well everybody, I'm here to quell any of those problems with the coverage. And go with our fun thumbnail Pokemon, the... wait, huh? Balloon Pokemon? Wigglytuff. So this line in Quillfish and the Drifblim line, they're the balloon Pokemon? Why are there so many balloons in Pokemon? It's like that one stage in Super Smash Bros. Melee. Well, no need to get fixated on that. So Wigglytuff is here because it has a massively wide move pool, and it isn't very good, so it fits right in. You'll find Jigglypuff bouncing around on Route 3, and it'll evolve with the Moonstone you'll be finding immediately in Mount Moon. So let's enjoy the coverage provided by this thing and get right into the final moveset. Alright, so this coverage-filled set is Ice Beam, Thunderbolt, Fire Blast, and Psychic. That's actually a really baller moveset and totally explains Wigglytuff's appearance on this team. Ice Beam can be gotten easily at the top of the Celadon department store by trading fresh water with a girl. Then Thunderbolt is your reward for beating Lieutenant Surge. Talk about a great reward. If only Thunderbolt would always be that easy to earn. Then Fire Blast is what you get for beating Blaine, and finally Psychic is available for Mr. Psychic as a TM in Saffron City. Isn't this set just great? Alright, so with these moves, Wigglytuff is able to do well against Erica's entire team, Koga's entire team, Sabrina's Venomoth, Giovanni's entire team, Lorelai's entire team, Bruno's entire team, Agatha's entire team, Lance's entire team, and finally Blue's entire team except for Alakazam. Wigglytuff is going to absolutely slaughter the Elite Four and leave hardly anything alive in its path. You wanted a destroyer of worlds on this team? Well, you've got one. Bow down to your new overlord, Kanto. Thank goodness we've reached the end of the video. This team was so bad, it actually made me think for a moment that there was no way it could actually beat these games. I can see the looks on your faces now, and you probably still don't believe it can happen. Well, I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. In the very near future, I think I'm going to sit down and do a playthrough of this worst team in Red and Blue. Perhaps on stream or something like that. I want to prove to you guys that I am not crazy. This team really can come together and defeat the Indigo League. Be on the lookout for that and another worst team coming soon. Hey, welcome to my new outro. A big thank you to everyone for watching the video. I want to give a huge thanks to my phenomenal team and for the amazing art done each week by Danny the Demon. I couldn't do all this without them. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to see more content like this, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Be sure to leave a comment too. It really helps us out. I have a brand new TikTok for Mystic Umbreon, and I've got a goal to get 10k followers over there. If we can hit that goal, I'm going to pick a random video suggested to me by you guys and do it. So go over there and leave a follow. Also over on MysticSage, we've still got 2 videos going up every weekend. We've got content from My Hero, to Demon Slayer, to Dragon Ball. So come and check it out. And also check out MysticSage on TikTok. Finally, I've got an Amazon store where I sell tons of cool stuff. I think I'm gonna wrap this up though. I'm Mystic Umbreon, and I'll see you next time with some more amazing Pokemon content.